his power back, we are going to be crushed in a way that we've never seen in the world. So it is upon us. We are called upon as a generation that we must file the pressure. Lazima tusongeshe kuni kwa hiyo moto iwake zaidi. Hiyo hit ikuwe design mtu haezi kamali pamoja anasema, hey, this one has become too much, let me give it up. So guys, pressure lazima ikuwe double. Pressure lazima isonge, yani isonge na isonge hadi thermometer ipasuke. Ndio tutaget kuona matokeo kwetu yani. Otherwise, tukutane pale, rada ni ile ile, mwendo ni ule ule, na nguvu ni ile ile. Good day guys. Thanks.
Asante sana Shujaa, moto ni ile ile, lazima we keep the moral. Daniel Muli, karibu kwa space, mic ni yako.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your mic is very good.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. And I've heard kuna wenye there are people who are fearing they are not up to going to Maandamano for some reasons. And I think it is important to kumbushane why we are going on the streets. See, last year I read somewhere that there was a certain youth mwenye alimaliza shule, ametafuta kazi, amekosa, akachukua makaratasi zake, all his documents, akaamua kuzichoma. Another youth amegraduate, ametafuta kazi, ametamak for 2 years, amekosa, he decided to commit suicide because he didn't know how to proceed forward. Imagine wazazi wako wamekusomesha, wamechukua maloans, wameuza kila kitu ndio usome because wanajua ndio utakuja kusaidia familia, and after 2 years of struggling kutafuta kazi unakosa, haupati, eventually unaona pressure inakuwa tu mingi, unaamua kucommit suicide. Early this year I read a place where CS Nakumicha aliappoint Shalin Ruto to a new role as Kenya Blood Ambassador. A new role, Kenya Blood Ambassador to Shalin Ruto. Yesterday, June Ruto naye amesotiwa. See, while you are there with all your qualification, academic qualifications, and you are ready with all the energy in the world, huwezi pata kazi. Because you do not know somebody in government, you are not well off connected. There are people who are offered jobs on a silver platter, not because they are qualified or anything, but because of who they know or who they are connected to. That is worth something to fight for. And yesterday, sijui kama any of you alisikiza the Senate, the Senate, there's this senator of Kisii County, Richard Onyonka. He spoke, Gabriel Ogunda alipost yesterday, and I've reposted it on my page. It's 15 minutes long. Kindly ukipata time and atuisikize, and you will listen to how the politicians, starting from the governors to the national government, they're embezzling money and enriching their pockets. As in, you will be shocked at the amount of corruption that is currently ongoing in our country. If that is not enough to fuel you, when the nje upigane useme aje enough is enough, then you have a problem somewhere. To be honest, that is according to me. Because each and every one of us must fight. We are in the cusp of bringing real change into our country. This whole messed up system, this whole corrupt system where politicians were naiba and they have protected themselves, in that hakuna mtu yote mwanashikwa. Investigation unasikia inafanywa, evidence imepotea, there was no sufficient evidence, nobody ana bring you to books, yet billions and billions of shillings zinapotea. Sisi tuko tu hapa hivi, tuko broke, tuendelea kunyanyaswa, tuwe tax, tufanye nini, yet hiyo pesa yote hakuna kenye inaenda kufanya, inaenda tu kujienrich. That is enough to fuel the fire that is within you. Ikukumbusha what you are fighting for. See, if we manage, and not if actually, when we manage to bring change into this country, the change that we will bring will outlive each and every one of us. Even after we are long gone, we are dead. What to to the kids and our kids' kids will come to enjoy everything that we are fighting for today. Because what I say, it was at this point that the people of this country, the Gen Zs of this country, the young people of this country stood and said, enough is enough. We can no longer sustain the amount of corruption that is in government. We want to bring change. We want to remove the whole system, from the president all the way, actually from the MCA all the way to the president, the entire system. All those people in parastatus, or everybody watolewe waende nyumbani, because those are avenues that the government is stealing money from Kenyans. And unless that fire in a light within you, let that, wacha ikuwe mafuta ina kubana on the inside, that wewe uko hapa hivi unafinyililiwa. Unajua ukisikiza hiyo clip ya nani ya Richard Onyonga, you can hear him talking about they're the ones who are importing maize from nje, millions of metric tons from other countries wanakuja kutuzia sisi hapa Kenyans. They're the same people who are brokering fertilizers, tunuzio mchanga. How do you make money? Kitu ya kwanza, ensure fertilizer ni fake, meaning whatever it is that wakulima wanapanda isn't enough. Meaning because the country needs food, you go and you broker maize from other countries, unakuja, you unauza venye unataka, you align your pockets with money. So they're taking advantage, every form of, everything they can think of taking advantage of, they're doing it at our expense. Alafu, to make matters worse, wanakuja during Harambee wanakupatia chop change, yani pocket money for them, wanakusmailia hapo hivyo, wanaenda kanisa wanasema Bwana asifiwe, to show you that they're with you, they understand your pain, nini. But at the end of it all, if you look at their pockets, how much money they have millions of acres of lands. Wewe hata 40 by 80 hauna, hata 30 by 60 hauna. Yet they have millions of, unashindwa aje, what will you do with 1 million acres of land? They're in different businesses, they own biggest companies, they're the shareholders of these big institutions. Kwenye wewe uwezi enda upate kazi, you don't have anything to your name. Yani, we are like orphans. We don't know what to do. Wazazi wetu, they have tried their best, wametupeleka shule, they have sold their shambas, they have sold their cows, their properties wapeleke shule. Wewe umesoma, you have all your qualifications, but upati kazi. If that is not sufficient enough to fuel your anger to go out and fight, then don't discourage another person. Wewe kama unaona hautaki kwenda nje, ni sawa, keep it to yourself, kaa kwako ama enda shughuli zako. Let the people who know what they are fighting for, the people who want to bring change into this country, because it is due time that we bring change into this country. Let each and every one person who is in government, and by the way, these people are very bright. If you look at all of them, they have been in parliament or in government for decades. Seti wameanza saa hizi ama during at 2022, they have been there for decades. What they do is, during election ikikaribia, they change from one party to the next. They start singing a new song. They pretend they are good until they are voted, they are elected. After that, they continue. Look at the people who are in government. They're the same people who are implicated in scandals in the previous regimes, but they are re-elected. So they're taking advantage of us. Let us learn to bring let us open our eyes and to watoe water this disease, because I need to call it a disease. Let us get rid of it once and for all. Not just one person at Ruto, deputy wake, all those cabinets, PSs, everybody, MP, Senate, hakuna mtu mwenye baki, hata wenye hata Kenya Azimio, those was wenye wanasema they are fighting. Let our waende nyumbani kwanza. We start afresh. Let us have new people there. After that, let us push that everybody who is in government afanyiwe lifestyle audit. Kama ni gari ulinunua ya 50 million, show us hii 50 million ulitoa wapi. Because yezi kuwa ati kwa bank saa hizi, if you're on average deposits per month ni 100,000, then they start seeing 1 million, 2 million kwa account yako ikiingia, bank yezi kubali hiyo pesa ingia until you show source of funds. We also not supposed to accept that a politician earning this amount of money can be able to manage to buy a vehicle costing 30, 40, 50 million, and we are okay with that. We need to question, hii pesa imetoka wapi? Kama ni ya Wakenya, kitu ya kwanza, rudishia Wakenya pesa yao. Kitu ya pili, wewe ni mwizi, uliba pesa ya Wakenya, shikwa. Yezi kwa mtu mwenye naiba ati nyama 181 kgs, anashikwa ama naekea mafaini kubwa, yet the billionaires are walking scot free. If the people in judiciary, they are compromised, that is why hawashikwi, hata waende nyumbani. We have to bring change into this country that we say we're on the right footing and we are moving forward. Remind yourself what you are fighting for. Ikufuel enough, ikuambia enough is enough. We need to bring change into this country going forward. As in we are not accepting anything else. The reducible minimum ni wote watoke to bring new people. And with that, I yield. Nasikia ni kama time yangu imeisha.
Thank you. Powerful submission, Daniel Muli. Thank you for talking to comrades. Checks. Mike is yours. Checks only.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, passing my condolences to the guys who died fighting for Kenya and those who are injured. I also want to take this chance to thank our medics. Today, my very main thing nataka kupass ni hii. Our biggest giant in corruption, embezzlement of funds, tenders, sijui zimefanya nini. And I would want also us to have another space we discuss what other techniques can we use to make sure the entire week we are not giving government any space ya kupumua. So Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays we are not in the streets. So what do we do with the time? It's very important that we don't give them space at all. Why should we give them space? Hawafai kupata hata space ya kustrategize hiyo nonsense ya kulipa goons. I saw here in Rongai Tuesday it was very peaceful. Thursday goons sijui walitoka wapi, all of a sudden burning tires, stealing from people, sijui gari zinaanza kulipishwa. And I saw the same nonsense in Eldoret. What will Eldoret? How did you allow some 100 people to stop thousands of people from exercising their rights? How did we come here? How did we get here? So if the main issue we have is corruption ndio inafanya hawa wasifanye job. Corruption ndio inafanya tukue na hizi mashida zote. So how do we fight this corruption, which is this giant? So I'm suggesting this. Our good friend Mr. Amerix amekuwa na something called ni Thursday, masculinity Saturdays. Why don't we have corruption Mondays, Kenya, on a tag #corruption Mondays, and on Wednesday let us have audit, government audit Kenya, so that on Wednesday we can be able to see each and everything. Tufanye audit sisi wenyewe. Mbona wewe uko na gari? Hii do ya hii gava iliarokitwa hii projo iko wapi? Na ni pesa ngapi na kwa nini? Unaona? Then on Fridays we pick another topic. So if we are going to talk about corruption, let it be an everyday discussion. Hakuna kupumzika. Monday we make a tag, Wednesday we make a tag, and Friday we make a tag. Then on Tuesdays and Wednesday we make sure we are on the streets. Nimeona mpaka kuna vijana wamelipo, sijui hao vijana wanakuanga sijui wa ma MP, sijui wa magavana, wanaambia watu see, the main thing that we wanted removed is the finance bill 2024. Now why should we go to the streets? I saw even some guys who had been paid on Wednesday last week in Rongai demonstrating, saying that Rongai, we don't want maandamano. Why are we allowing such characters in our communities? My last point is this: sisi wote tujitokeze, and if at all you might not get the chance to go out there, what will you be doing? Tusikue kwa spaces, tusikue kwa nini. Let us have a tag you're pushing. Kama ni Ruto must go, make sure it is trending. Don't just sit and watch all tukue ati kwa space. Ikifika saa 4 hata hakufai kukuwa na space. I saw Kibe akona space kutoka saa 2 mpaka saa 6 sijui saa 7, and there were a lot of guys there. Why should we have spaces when other people are wanakunywa tear gas? Bona we call them out when you wanna have hizo spaces wakati wasi wenyewe wako na maandamano. And kindly Afrocentric, can we discuss about the issue ya Monday, Wednesday, let us audit, let us expose all corruption scandals on Mondays, so that hiyo wiki mzima those who are corrupt wanafaa wajue hii do yenye wameiba watarudisha. That is hiyo tag ikikuwa hapo, hata kama ni next year, hiyo documentation itakuwa hapo. What happened to the lady that was shot in Nairobi? She is doing NHIF. Alipigwa risasi because ali come out. So if it takes us to use public spaces and technology to expose corruption, why don't we use that? Ukiongea ujulikane unapigwa risasi. While you can use technology, you create a pseudo account and you put your things there. Uweke vitu zako zote za corruption and nini. Si lazima ati utokeleze. Ukiweka documentation zote useme ni aje kwa hii ofisi, even post office nini zote tuziekange Monday, corruption Monday Kenya. Let us have all those corruption cases. Hata kama ni pseudo account uta create, nobody will come after you. Nobody will shoot you on the streets like the way we saw the lady who saw Broa. Hakuna mtu atakushoot. Tuweke corruption Monday Kenya. And that is Afrocentric. Can we create a space to discuss this? If this is the main giant, why don't we fight it? Now everything that we have, especially technology, everybody imagine Monday, corruption Monday Kenya iki trends every Monday, like venye nini America in a training every Saturday. It's very effective. We must use every tactic that is available. Hatufai kulet these guys, hatufai kuwaacha. And the moment we stop these demonstrations, these guys are going to kill more people, and they are not going to stop. Niliona senators wakijifanya wazuri jana. Wanataka masi, wanataka wasijifanye wazuri. Hata wao, we know some of them are corrupt. Wajana mbona waliject ati wanasema hatutaki hiyo do? Mbona siku zingine hawangesema ni aje tumeongezewa pesa ya sijui hii yenye walikuwa nasema sijui 377,000 sijui ya kuweka kwa hizo zinaitwa aje hizi ma highways zenye wameweka juu expressway. Sasa ndio wanaongea kuhusu hiyo do. Hiyo ni kujifanya mzuri. Why should we allow that? Kwa nini unaongea saa hii wakati kuna hit? Kwa nini haukuongea before? I saw some minister has used close to 400 and something million at kwa fuel. Kwani ana travel dunia mzima na gari? Shame on her. Thank you Afrocentric.
Asante,
And I hope
asante
we
checks.
that.
Hapo points nimeandika chini, hiyo ya kuhost corruption Monday Kenya, very very brilliant idea. Ndo kila mtu akuja expose hapa. Siku za kuiba zao zimeisha mazee. We have the technology, we have the tools to expose every rot in this government, in this system. Na wakijua tunawaangalia, then maybe we can have accountability as we want it. Na hiyo idea pia ya kuhost spaces, kwanza hiyo Kibe mazee, not only was he hosting spaces, watu wakiwa kwa barabara wanakula tear gas, alikuwa anaambia haendi, alikuwa na demoralize watu. Alikuwa nimejamu sana mazee. Kama uendi unaweka watu kwa space, alafu tena unamwambia wasi you need a leader, you need to have a leader. Why what are you guys doing without a leader? Yani hata elewi hii movement yetu. You don't understand the simple tenets that we are tribeless, partyless, leaderless. Kwa sababu tukipata tu leader hivi, where we are in this revolution, we don't want a leader and we do not want anyone to be pushed on us as a leader. Right now hawajui, wakinitoa ndo huyo Uncle F ataamka, akitoa Uncle F Vincent ndo huyo. Right now it is an idea. It's an idea whose time has come for society. We want accountability, good governance, and we want to overhaul the whole system. Wote hiyo National Assembly yote irikoliwe. Ruto must go home. That must happen. So this is an idea that is on the conscience of every citizen in Kenya, that this system ya kukula walikuwa naita Kenya ni kampuni, na sahii wananyanyasa wananchi. So it's an idea whose time has come, and I agree that we should be leaderless for now. Ndo wasizime hiyo moto, wasituweke kwa mfuko. So ukiona mtu ameanza kuchange kusema to retreat, tusiende maandamano, we Joe mse ashanunuliwa. Ama there's something going on. He's being blackmailed. But anyway, aluta continua. Mike for Owala Jr. Karibu kwenye Mike comrade.
Thank you so much, Afro. Kwanza, I send my regards to everybody who is listening here, everybody who will be out there on the streets. I also send a shout out to Shali Low, our lady who is always in all the spaces. I know she is here. I can't see her yet. Now, since Tuesday evening, Maze, I have been so angry. I have been angry. I've been on a lot of spaces and I'm hearing a lot of nonsense, a lot of bullshit, things that should not even be making it to our mouths from our brains. People saying we should go back and re-strategize. What do they mean by go back and re-strategize? In the first place, where did we strategize before we go back to re-strategize? Where did we strategize? These people should not take us for granted. This is a war. And in a war, you can change tactics. Yes, I agree. Sometimes we need to change how we do things. For example, now we have the problem of goons, which I am not surprised. I was surprised by the military move. I wasn't surprised by the goon move because these are the same cronies that have been leading this country for years. So I knew they were at one point going to bring goons to the streets. I didn't know they would bring the military. So the military was a surprise move. The goons was not a surprise move. Now, we need to know how to contain the goons. And the first way we contain the goons is in our numbers. Our security is in our numbers. The government cannot even hire 1,000 goons to come to the streets. Those guys were 500 at most. If we are 100,000 people on the streets, how can 500 people overpower us? They cannot. So first, we need to be out there in our numbers, and we need to have 100% transition from this X space to the streets. I will be hitting the streets in Kisumu today. Let everybody hit the streets wherever they are. So nobody should tell us that we should not go because we need to go back and re-strategize. Even if it's a war and you even lose a battle, you don't withdraw to go and re-strategize back in your barracks. You re-strategize right there in the war zone. I'm also sad that there are people saying that, oh, we have won. There is nothing we have won. We have gained nothing at all. First of all, the finance bill itself, it's not completely dead like it should be. It is still alive and kicking because the president passed the appropriations bill 2024. So this thing is very much alive and kicking. And even if it was dead, there is still nothing that we have won. The finance bill was a symptom which we treated using paracetamol. But we have to look at what is causing these symptoms. And the problem is the rot in the system. Successive governments have used majority in the legislature, corrupt judiciary, and the heavy-handed police to stay in power. We have a chance to change that status quo right now. And it starts with us removing Ruto. Anybody telling us that we should go for the ministers, they're trying to water down this revolution to go back to just a small thing of, oh, let's get Nahumicha out, let's go get Mithika Linturi out. Those are people we should be very careful about. And I don't know if we are allowed to mention names here, but somebody like Boniface Mwangi is not using the hashtag Ruto must go. He is really trying to water down this thing to go down to something where we are only interested in a few ministers and to fix Ruto's government. We are not on the streets to fix Ruto's government. We are on the streets to get Ruto's government out. And by out, I mean out fully from the top. Ruto is out, Murkomen is out, Sudi is out, every single one of them is out. These people are taking us for granted. Yesterday, they were rejecting a 14,000 shillings salary increment because they have heard Kenyans are talking about reducing their salaries. Now, they are bringing in something which was not there to reject. They would rather reject what is not there rather than take a pay cut, like Kenyans are saying. Nobody should take us for granted. If any of those senators who are speaking in the Senate is genuine, let them say, hey, I'm here, I'm taking a 50% pay cut. That would be something. But rejecting something which is not even a reality, that is taking us for granted. It's like these guys were telling us in the finance bill that they are removing taxes on bread and diapers, yet those are things which are not a reality on the ground. Ruto's government has to go, and it has to go from the top to the bottom. We will reset this country and get new people to do these things. Please, I am begging everybody. I am seeing Kirote from Meru. Let us not be tired. Yes, it is a war and people get fatigued, and sometimes we need troop rotation. But that is the only thing we should do. Whoever is not able to go to the streets, like I see Hannah is there, maybe she is not within the country right now. You can support the people who are going by just a small bottle of water and mask. Let us go out and hit the streets and ensure that Ruto's government does not have any space to breathe. They must go home, because this is the time. And if we lose this particular war, trust me, nobody will. Why am I saying nobody will? Because our grandfathers tried with parties, they failed. They tried with the tribes and failed. Now we stepped up tribeless, partyless, and leaderless. If we do not win at this particular moment, then we are fucked as a country, and our children will have a fucked up country, and we are going to be so oppressed that by the time Ruto is finishing his first term, most of us are going to be dead. The same way they had started profiling people individually is the same way they are going to come for us one by one until this regime ensures that everybody who even posted Ruto must go on Twitter is either dead or rotting in prison. Thank you so much. I yield the mic.
Thank you so much for your passionate submission. I'll give the mic to Bundi. Bundi, karibu kwenye mic.
Hello, Wadau. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Bundi. I'm currently in Qatar, and I'm jealous of you guys. I envy you people back home, kwa sababu all we have here is this
Considering a massive influence, it's ensuring that everyone has
and the comment sections on the social media platforms. With that being said, kuna issues kibao nasikia wase wakiraise, and I've been listening for a while now. And one of the things that nimesikia that zimehit na nimefeel ziko, it's a good idea. It's the hashtags with the days, like hashtag Monday, corruption, stuff like that. Uh, Other than that, I want to raise an issue that most people are unaware of. You see, back in 2017, 2018, 2019, in the Gulf countries, Kenyans were the most people people from Africa in terms of labor export. Like our government was like really doing stuff, but after this new regime, something happened. We don't really know what happened, but size we are dwindling in numbers. Like if you go to Nairobi, you'll see the agencies, the amount of money that they are asking for somebody to come here for a job, as simple as a cleaner, is around 200K, to also to 250. Even they are like asking commissions on house help jobs. And the moment you come here, you are told you have to sign a paper when you come here that says that you are not supposed to have paid any commission back home. Like you're not supposed to pay any amount to get to work here. And somehow these companies found out that's what happens. And these Arabs, they have like some sort of zero tolerance to corruption and bribes, and I guess that's one of the reasons why they stopped giving uh, job tenders to Kenyan agencies. Uh, Other than that, uh, I had this idea when you guys are protesting, like with the hashtags also. Like we need to also get the public servants in the same fight as the Gen Zs. Say for example, in the in the health docket, they have like a corruption scandal. No, the only time that these doctors or nurses will strike is when it affects their salaries. But when there is corruption there, they are like deaf, and the government takes advantage of that. So like we really need to find ways to get these people involved, because protesting only seems like after they infiltrate these protests, like they kind of start losing credibility. But I feel like if we can involve other sectors of the public service, say teachers, say doctors, they also have a responsibility. When when a teacher sees that money has been embezzled in the education ministry, they have a responsibility to question the government. Where is this money going? Because once that money is stolen, some students, some place is going to miss a book. Teacher is going to have his salary is affected. Like it's bigger when corruption hits a docket. It's bigger. I know you all understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I don't want to take too much time, so I think I'll just stop there. But I commend you guys and I envy you guys, and we are with you. Tuko nyinyi vibaya sana huku Gulf. We're supporting you, and we wish you all the best in this fight back home. And yeah, you guys have a great day. Na mjitokeze kwa streets leo bado. Still, you guys need to do something. We're behind you in prayers. And also, one last thing that has been in my mind for a long time. I saw this quote that says, "A man who is in sync with his spirituality, with God, does not care for material possessions, does not go amassing wealth, does not go, is not greedy for power." So that's a good place to hit this regime, because they told us that they are a godly regime, but all we are seeing they are not spiritual, they are not in sync with their spirituality. Other than that, nakushukuru Afrocentric. Asante.
Thank you, Bundi, for your submission all the way from in Qatar. Thank you for supporting the movement. You're part of it, for owning it. Please, anywhere, remember, support the cause. Diaspora can support. Remember also to tweet Ruto must go, guys. The hashtag, I'm not seeing that hashtag, guys. I'm not seeing that hashtag, guys. Tweet Ruto must go. Whatever. I'm eating breakfast, Ruto must go. Napanda mat, Ruto must go. Nico CBD, Ruto must go. They must to make noise on the internet, because the world still sees what is happening. What's the conversation? What's the conversation going on in Kenya? This conversation is still in our head. This corrupt system, this whole regime must go. We're still talking about, we're still thinking it, we still want it, we're still putting our words, action to our words. So please, everyone, right now, Ruto must go. Let me see you guys. Don't just be passive. Do not spectate, participate. KD, karibu kwenye mic. How you doing?
Yo, niaje wase, mko poa?
Salama,
I hope
salama.
everybody, I hope mko poa. Pole maze, kama mtuoni ni jua tuko mtaani, so si ati nywe enda streets peke yenu, but nimeko kwa hizi spaces mob sana na job mnafanya is very evident, so I'm able to be heard by the so many whom I don't think I'll ever see for whatever reason, but I know we are together in spirit and patriotism. So my concern was just, I think this is the first time I spoke, this is the first space I spoke on, na yeye thinking bara ya pili, na kuna spaces mob tu sana sahi, but I'm sorry I have to say some of them just don't make any sense at all. It's just become very invaded, and everyone is just trying to do it for whatever personal gains. So I think the one thing I would want to say is, let's stay on course. Let's have
Bro, before you move from that point, I'm glad you mentioned Afrocentric na kusalimia good morning. Honestly,
can I just
thank
finish
you.
first, please?
Yeah, I'm giving it to you, but just before you move away from that point, it's absolutely 100% true. Afrocentric has become voice to million genuine voices, but other places, thank you. Go on.
Thank you. They say you walk with wolves, you learn how to howl. So I believe the guys on this group are pretty much have the same great minds think alike. Anyway, while I was in Ndako protest, there's something I just wanted to share that I think is very, very important, because nimekuwa privilege ku travel countries mob, and the one thing I think tumefail ni kujua ku demonstrate. We need to teach each other how to protect each other, especially on the streets. Now that you know you're fighting more than one foe, there's the main cause, then you have the police who are not for you, then you have the so-called the goons, and even amongst ourselves, whom I might be looking at you, but I'm holding a knife behind your back. The one thing Milan Nikosteto, kitu moja wase udu ni, for example, when you say hashtag Ruto must go, that is all you chant. Even if I ask you what's your name, that is all you chant. Please tokeni kwa streets, Ruto must go. Tafadhali tutawashoot, Ruto must go. As in you don't know any other words. And then they form a human chain. So you protect each other, because there's no way a cop is going to shoot one person kama mmeshikana nyinyi wote. And then whenever they see this one I saw in Australia, karawa kipoint gun, mnapiga magoti, mnainua mikono juu nyinyi wote, all of you, or you just lay down and put your hands behind your back. Unless a cop is mad, they would not fire. They know the code. It's just that most of us have not really known how to go about protests. So sometimes we may carry our own placards and the whistles and stuff, and then police is a human being. You may say some things that will provoke him, and then he reacts. You know, some of them are not very reasonable. Kuna karao niliona, I think ni Mombasa jana, anatembea na wase, and they were really having a good time. It's very hard to find such a person. So just be your brother's keeper. And it's very easy for you to identify now, even to do, okay, this is our enemy, because we walk in packs, we protect each other. So in case somebody comes in your whatever, you know, si tulikuwa tumeshikana, hata mget kujuana, ujue mse ni mse fulani fulani fulani, unajua. So mse akuja kuingia kwa laini yenu, mnajua mse si wetu, like the thugs and the goons and all those guys who don't have our intentions at heart. And then the one reason why the first and second demonstrations were very successful was because we did not have any infiltrations. But these groups have ended up being so exposed. The government realized one thing: a politician feeds off the crowd, and the one fight you can give a politician is silence. They cannot stand that. It really kills them. So when you started doing these spaces, they realized we are lacking something. They came after you guys. When you go to them, when you go to the streets against them, they shoot you, they kill you, they chase you back home. They say you don't know what you're doing, digital wankers and whatever. When you came and started doing your own thing, they followed you. That's why you have moles listening on this thing, whatever you want to call them, NIS, or all those characters who have nothing to do but snitch on people who are fighting for whatever. Then the last point I would want to whatever, because I had the gong. Mazee, tusomeni katiba. Tusome hiyo katiba because itatuangusha watu wengi. And then kuna book nime propose hapa hivi a while back, 48 laws of power. I would like you guys to look at law number 1, law number 3, law number 5, which is the purpose of this movement. Law number 15, which is very important, why you have that hashtag. Law number 23, and law number 25, and law number 48, which is why there's no leader in this group. We can all say so many things, but if you don't know the Constitution, even if your president says, let's have a sit down, you'll get grilled, because he understands the Bible and the Constitution better than anyone. I think I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, KD, for your submission. I'd like to give the microphone to Uncle F. Uncle F.
All right, thanks. Na mtu mic yake is on. Getting an echo. Okay. I want to thank you guys for being here. Na bado nasema pole sana kwa wale wenye umeumia ama wale umetuacha kwa hii struggle. Unajua we are dealing with a monster na kuna very dirty tricks he has learned over time from the Moi era. Yani mse tu ako ruthless, usimuone hivyo. Just know your history of who we are dealing with. In fact, nilikuwa najiuliza we need to have strategy, hata sisi tunafaa to think out of the box tujue what will happen. Especially yesterday I was very sad about mambo ya goons who join our peaceful protest, but I saw even our our mothers out there, they are asking the real question. Mnaenda kupiga watoto marisasi, mnaacha taxis ikiibiwa for 2 hours. But the president, on speaking on the other day, was very furious that property is being damaged, as if it doesn't value life. So una wonder, uni president, is he the enemy of the country? Like I remember most of these leaders who are talking shit, tuliwakataa from the grassroots pale, but he chose them, he took them, he appointed them himself. Na watu aliappoint hakuna msee msafi pale, they are very corrupt. Mpaka nashindwa hii ni agenda ya gava wachukue kila kitu wa own Kenya ama what is it? We need to be very angry, otherwise hii dunia hii Kenya yetu hakuna kitu tutaachia watoto wetu. By the way, I'm even thinking Afrocentric, maybe we should one day, one of these protesting days, we should maybe go to the stadium, we feel it, ndio one numbers. Kama watu wanaogopa eti watapewa kwa street, maybe we should go each county, kila mtu waende kwa ile nini, and then we look for this international journalists na watu wengine tusikizu kabisa, kila mtu apewe mic aongee na huyu msee anaitwa Ruto. We don't want him because he's already compromised and we don't know who he's working for. Maybe anafanya kazi na embassy ya US, because I'm not seeing any laws passing that are really concerning Kenya. 2 years is done. We cannot give him more time. Anything that was benefiting Kenyans in terms of money or from health, mnaona hizo vitu zimetolewa zote. So hii government imeachieve nini? We really need to be very angry with this guy. So I'm really thinking maybe Monday, one of these next week, probably to change the tactics, because I know fatigue. Sisi tumeandamana sana, I know kuna fatigue, but we should not give up. We go there, maybe Kasarani tuijaze. I hope hakuna polisi atakuja huko tena kusumbua watu. We address this nigga straight. We address this. Hao watu wanatuthreaten. I saw ule MP wa I don't know where, Janshir or from Bugirango somewhere, ana threaten watu mpaka we were questioning him, kwani you are addressing Kenyans as who? Akasema as a leader. Nobody is interested. Hizi biashara tunajua ni za kina baba zetu, mama zetu wako pale. Sisi kama peaceful protesters hatujaiamua eti sasa tuende tena kupigia wazazi wetu, when we know that's all we have. We have nothing more. Maybe that's where we are getting food from every day from our parents, and then we are not going again to loot there. So hii tactics ya huyu jamaa, by then nimekasirika sana. We know them from 2013. India alikuwa anafanya, analeta watu wana loot, and then wanarudi kusema watu ni wezi, ni criminals, we have already been labeled criminals. Don't wear down. Tutaitwa majina, but don't go down. Get more angry, step to the street. Thank you.
Thank you Uncle F. Dr. Ombati, karibu kwenye mic.
Thank you so much, Afrocentric. I think today is my second day talking on the space, but I've been on these spaces, following, supporting, and also giving my support through pushing for the hashtag, making sure the hashtag is moving. I'm also in the States. Na sisi huku tumekuwa tukiandamana kabisa kabisa kabisa, and we're also monitoring to see the direction things are taking, and we also see how to keep our support from this end. So nataka kuanza kwa kusema pole to our friends who have lost relatives and loved ones, and to those who have died from this uprising. And then number two, I want to wish those who are wale ambao waliumia quick recovery, and we keep monitoring them. I'm happy that Jana, I saw the CS for Health trying to belittle even the contributions that we had done, but I'm happy that we stood strong to show her that the government is doing really nothing, especially in the support of our people. Actually, my problem ni, these same people have gone to those hospitals. Some of those we've reached out to. I've not been able to get even the basic care that they would have gotten because of lack of medicines in those hospitals, lack of some of the equipment that they may need to undergo some therapies, including surgeries. So it's very unfortunate. Number two, this morning I was listening to the interview that was on Citizen TV, and one thing which came clear to me is even the politicians have realized the direction hii maandamano inachukua. If they don't come in and castigate it, hata wale ambao walikuwa na to support, they will lose it. I listened to my brother Kibagendi from Kitutu Churches, Central South or something. He was talking on TV and saying, sasa tunafaa to retreat, to re-strategize. To re-strategize wapi? Where did we sit to strategize? Where did we sit to organize on how we'll get to the streets? So they are realizing that if they don't come in, hata wao tunaenda kuwatopol. And that is my prayer kwamba we keep pushing. Look at the uprising that happened in Egypt. Look at the uprising that happened in the Arab countries. The other Arab African countries. And look at the outcome of all those. Look at Ethiopia and what happened. It's the youth who came out. So I'll still keep supporting by saying that we push the hashtag every morning, Afrocentric, if it's possible. Let's come up with this hashtag. Come on, the Ruto must go. Let's stop at some point and say, hapa kwa hii space, no, we have 347 messages. If every one of us, we almost 1,200 or 1,300 people, if we can stop for a minute and every one of us writes that hashtag Ruto must go, it will come to around 2,000 hashtags. Imagine if we get to 2,000 hashtags within these 10 minutes, we are going to to trend again. So let's push the hashtag. And that is what I'm going to request Afrocentric. That even after I'm done with talking, to hit hapa tu kwa hii space, let's drop a message kwa hii space that Ruto must go. Number two, let's keep the course. They have had us, wametusikiza mpaka the other day uliona the president was saying that he wants us now, wants to come to the space and have discussion. Yesterday I was also watching the daughter meeting, I don't know, 47 presidents, I don't know where, I don't know. And I think they were in agreement. All these are tactics they are trying to do to see now to pull back. Because huyu president wetu in 1992, he was a student leader, among the student leaders, or before then, who came out to fight against whatever that was happening. Akaonekana, akapikiwa, and that is how he has grown to be who he is today. So if our students can also learn to live in that direction. Number three, let's deal with goons when they come. One of my brothers here mentioned about Was it KD? KD mentioned something about how things are happening in US. KD is aware of what happened in Columbia University. Was it in New York? Just a few weeks or 1 or 2 months, it's less than a month ago, when students came out and they stood so firm against what was happening in Middle East. The president of US had to listen and make a statement out of it. So it's time that the youth can stand and we work together in making sure that the governments have listened. Kuna mmoja alisema hapa about calling the international media houses. By the way, international media houses are watching. The best thing we can do, and some of the videos that you guys have been picking or capturing, are the ones the international media are airing. So let's, wewe kazi yako ni bendera, simu na maji. Na maji we will support the much we can. Then, of course, my brother also said, and I have to reiterate it, let's avoid provoking the police the much we can do, because let's stay to our course. That our course is Ruto must go, and in Ruto going, we have to be as peaceful as we can as we move forward. As I conclude, the only thing I can say, for us to make it happen, I'm happy. Afrocentric, I'm very happy. You see, we were around 300 and something, we are now 409. So if we can go on, we hit 2,000. Ruto must go, the hashtag will trend. So as I conclude, I'll only say that I envy you guys. I envy that we are not there to support physically, but I'm very happy that we are here supporting both spiritually and supporting financially and in whichever way that we can to make this a reality. Let us follow one another on Twitter, follow one another so that we retweet, retweet, and tweet. And I know let Kenya be that country that made a change from social media. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very big on that point. Guys, we have to move with unity, guys. On the comment section, I put it on the Jumbotron. Ruto must go. Do not put it out. Do not spell it out. Ruto must go, because it won't hit the Twitter algorithm. Let it be hashtag Ruto must go. Join it together. Tweet it, guys. I need 1,000 tweets of that. We need to take control of that trending panel on Twitter, on X. We need to get control of that. So, guys, show support. Let's be online warriors, at least, also on the ground, guys. We're gonna. The space is going to drop at 10 a.m. But until then, let's get as many speakers. Please keep your submissions to 2 to 3 minutes. Be very cautious of your comrades. Hamna, you have something to say? Resident, and I need you here. Don't drop even after you submit. I need you to interject and also keep doing what you're doing, what you do so good, keeping us on focus, because we are laser focused, guys. We're concentrating all our efforts into achieving this. So, guys, hashtag Ruto must go.
Afrocentric, can you imagine? Somebody's writing, there's a tweet I put on the Jumbotron. My friend, if you're in this space, you're on the wrong space. I may reply kwa hiyo tweet, eti anaandika hashtag Ruto is going nowhere. Can you imagine the nerve?
Let's not. I've seen it. Let's not give that any energy, any concentration. We have government spies, NSIS here. We have even Shiloh is here. Hi Shiloh, how you doing? Hope you're well. So, but we must remain focused in despite obstacles, despite difficulties, despite even goons being on the street. The government is. How much do you want your country back? How much do you want good governance? How much do you want to live in a country that you're proud of, where the systems work? When goons, it is never going to be easy. It is never going to be a walk in the park. It was never going to be a bed of roses just to walk and get your freedom. Otherwise, every country would have it. Every country would have it if it was that easy. But this is when the Kenyan spirit is brought to test. How bad do you want good governance when the thugs have the country? Willy Mutunga said this is a bandit economy. He washed his hands. He threw his hands in the air. Now we have to be the Gen Z movement, which has even now morphed to include all Kenyans, who must bring fundamental change, social change, through social media. Because now, thanks to technology, We are partyless, tribeless, leaderless, and we can put demands on the table of the country we want to see. The right to self-determination can be determined here on social media. Achana na Duale alikuwa anasema jana ati the government cannot be run through social media. Do you know we can? Is it trying us? How far did we get? We got here just by social media, just by mobilizing on social media. So you should not underestimate us. So guys, the hashtag is Ruto must go. Shambulia hiyo kitu bana.
Afro, Kama he believes that this thing cannot be done from social media. Why is Ruto saying anataka kuja X?
Sahii
Hey,
wanapanga kuweka red carpet hapa, wakuja watuongeleshe, lakini no retreat, no surrender. Haya, Babu, uko hapo Babu? Can you hear me, Babu?
Yes, I can. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a privilege to speak and address fellow Kenyans. Ruto must go. I think there's something that I want to highlight first, that I have seen some people saying the objective was to get rid of Finance Act. Now we haven't really. And so why are people clamoring for Ruto must go? My take is that the Finance Act was just a trigger. It was a symptom of our disease. The government is sick. The SKK administration has come up with this virus. And so we should not address symptoms. We should address the disease. And unfortunately, for the man from Sugoi, he is the disease. His presidency embodies a certain sickness that Kenyans have not seen for a long time. And that is why there should be focus on Ruto must go. Tomorrow, there will be another something else other than Finance Act that will galvanize Kenyans to rally. So we will rather not have multiple rallies. There will be fatigue. But we should all rally against this campaign of Ruto must go. Now, I've been sitting through various spaces, and one common thread in various spaces is people are saying, what's the strategy? What's the strategy? We are faceless, yes, but what's the strategy? I want to share my dream of what ideally should be the strategy. On Tuesday last week, why was a storm in Parliament successful? Because we had one singular target, occupy Parliament. So everybody was galvanized towards one target. Right now, we are all over the place. Now, Parliament has since been fortified. It has been secured. We need to create more quote-unquote parliaments to storm. Now, people know that the Supreme Court of the US has said the IMF and World Bank can be sued. The IMF and World Bank have been part of the problem with this KK administration, hand in glove. So we need to create, we need to target IMF and World Bank offices in Nairobi. Let's dump coffins there. The foreign media will have such a great story to tell to the world when they see that. The IMF and World Bank will be, scared, and New York will feel the heat. Africa will learn from us. I'm talking about the wider continent. The IMF and World Bank will feel isolated. By the way, they prefer working with corrupt world leaders. They don't work with straight governments. That's why even during Kibaki's time, you could not hear much about IMF and World Bank, because Kibaki could not stand up to their nonsense. We also need to storm the US Embassy. Well, today is a public holiday because it's the Independence Day, and uncharacteristically, they are closed. They don't close on 4th of July. They throw parties. It's because they know that Kenyans have the US in their crosshairs, and we are not capitalizing on that. We need to have a march to the US Embassy in one of these protest days. International media will have their cameras rolling. They will remind Americans that the President Biden threw a party for somebody who is unwanted in his own country. The Democrats will not like that bad publicity against their candidate who is facing an election in a few months. Biden administration will apply pressure on William. We need that. You know the story about the enemy. The friend of my enemy is my enemy. So they will isolate William. Probably even, cut off communications with him. The police cannot dispense the media. Let's not forget that. Cameras will click, we will be dispersed, goons will be sent, but the cameras will tell our story. And those are the things that we need to embrace. Let you, Afrocentric, I yearn for the day when eminent space hosts such as you will come up with a space targeted at cops. Hear me out. Last week, I sat through, on Wednesday, a day after the killings around Parliament, there was a space where a policeman, took the mic and he said, I'm a policeman and I'm all for the cause, but I would like, and people railed at him. People really were mad at him that he didn't really communicate. So I just started an inbox with him, DMing him, and we had a chat. But I feel that there should be a specific space for cops. Why? People will vent at them. That's fine. But there are cops who are generally on our side. Sun Tzu, the guy of Art of War, he said to secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Let's show the cops that we love them. They are the people who are going to start DMing us photos of cops, telling us information about operations. They'll say, this is the guy who pulled the trigger that killed that guy, that 12-year-old. They will start endearing themselves towards us. So we need also to infiltrate our enemy. The government has infiltrated protesters. Why are we not infiltrating the government? One way of doing so, have a space and call upon cops to join in. Of course, they'll have pseudo accounts. They'll come and listen in, and they will learn a lot. Let's also create an M-Changa for injured cops. Let's send money, or let's visit them in hospitals. Let's show this compassion to cops. We will win their minds over, further isolating the person who leads them to the streets. Anyway, let me not talk much about the cops. I think I've made my point. If government is infiltrating the public, let's infiltrate the government. To demonstrate the point, I was going to share a story to encourage space listeners about strategies, I hope I have still in time, that Richard Leakey used to kill runaway poaching in the 90s. When Richard Leakey was made KWS head, do you know what he did? He said, okay, so that was a time when there was runaway poaching. The elephant population had been decimated. What did Leakey do? Leakey started a policy where don't shoot poachers. Let's arrest them. So poachers were very good at the bushcraft. They were arrested, they were rehabilitated, they knew the tricks, and they were turned into rangers. They were that good. So in the same way, let's rehabilitate the police. Let's give them an air. Let's show them love. They will start working for us within the system. Let's co-opt friendly media forces. When we are demonstrating, now it is turning out that, I remember last week when the media was sharing with us cops of snipers and stuff through their telephoto, the cameras with the telephoto lenses. Why don't we co-opt friendly media forces to covertly start compiling atrocities through their lenses by police, of police? Let's start snapping away from a safe distance using the telephoto lens, the goons. Let's use social media to ask who knows this guy, tumsalimie. We will start isolating them. We'll force them to wear masks, and that will even give them away further. Similarly, we need to co-opt media. Not media, but our legal friends as well. So other than the media, we also need lawyers to compile the atrocities that the IMF and the likes have done against us. So when we storm those offices, the new quote-unquote parliaments that we are going to storm, the US Embassy, let legal read out some of the things that they have done. I think I'll pause there. I have so much to say, Afrocentric. I think I've made the main points that I wanted to make. But let me just conclude by saying fighting Ruto means we force his allies to isolate him. So whereas a lot of spaces are focusing on the man and his government, let's think about his allies, the IMF and World Bank. We will touch off a raw nerve in New York, in Washington, when we confront the IMF and World Bank here in the offices in Nairobi. The international media will tell our story. The Africans who are in a dictatorship will borrow a leaf from us. We will inspire them. IMF will have no business in Africa. Remember what I said. IMF and the World Bank love to do loans with corrupt governments. That's why they are thriving in certain Asian countries, Africa, and South American countries, not in Europe. You know, the other thing is that when I say let's look for, let's also force his allies to isolate him. When a judge gives a bond to a protester of 10 million and another one gives a cash bail of 2,000, why are we letting the 10 million judge go scot-free? Let's confront Kwame. Let's go to the judiciary and say, why are you fighting us? I thought you understand. That will give pressure. Whenever a protester is arraigned in court, the judge will know that I am under the spotlight of Kenyans and Gen Z. I cannot misbehave with this guy. Let me give him a 2,000 shillings cash bail like he was given by the other judge. I can't give him a 10 million. That's what I'm talking about. Let's identify who are our enemies. Our enemies, some of them are in the other arms of government. Yeah. So fighting Ruto means we force his allies to isolate him. Fighting Ruto means that any institution, including the judiciary, that makes a decision that is in the favor, that perpetuates the Ruto administration, also has to be fought. Yeah. I don't think the military can fight civilians. I don't think Ruto is using. Is using them. I think. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Babu. I'm gonna jump in at this time and then I'll be short and then give it to the rest. Poleni. 6 na kuona kumekucha. Now, I don't know. We just have to keep repeating. For me, keep repeating the same message. It's not only about Ruto. Ruto is the head of the snake. But what do we really want to achieve? We want to achieve a total change of the system, the new colonialism system that has crippled the whole of Africa. But now we are Kenyans and Kenya is our business. So what do we want to achieve out of this? Getting rid of Ruto does not really necessarily mean just replacing another leader, another corrupt person and his friends. No, because that has been happening since independence. What have we achieved? We've changed one regime to the other. We said, maybe multi-party. We need a multi-party. Maybe if we have a multi-party, there's more chances of getting somebody good. But we never, our fathers, our mothers, and including myself, each generation after the other, never realized the game was all along rigged. That British put a system that would every time, no matter who comes there, would benefit them. It would work for America. It would work for England. They made sure that the system will keep providing for them. But every time we change the person who's sitting on that chair, guess what? A little more. He was stealing more from us, and the system keeps delivering more and more and more for them. Now, thanks to the Gen Zs, we've waken up. We want a total reform. This is beyond Ruto. This is getting the system to work for each and every Kenyan and generations to come. We need to get what is ours. We need this Kenya's wealth, Kenya's productivity, Kenya's raw material, not going to the West and be produced there. Yeah, kuna mtoto huko Ushago, they've never had a chocolate. Guess what? His parents are farming coffee. And then that coffee goes there. And when it comes back as a chocolate, this kid hajawahi kuonja chocolate. And his parents are farming, they're farming the cocoa farm. How? How is that fair? Why can we not process our raw materials here? Why can we not set the price that it's going to be bought for? So this is beyond anything anybody imagined that Kenya will spearhead this thing. That the young, bright, brilliant, smart Gen Zs would actually be the reason that finally the Kenyan system is changed and it's delivering to each and every person without a shadow of a doubt. This is phenomenon, guys. Don't take it as, we're going to be fatigued. No, there is no fatigue. People will interchange, but this thing has to go. The focus is not about, oh, serikali kitoka, how are we going to replace? No. Things would work out. Things do work out. Kenyans are very smart people. Nimeona in Nigeria, what do we call parliament, some guy was saying we have to start delivering laws that work for people as MPs. If not, tutasalimiwa kama those Kenyan MPs wamesalimiwa. You can see what Kenya is doing. Everybody in Africa is sharing in their pants. And all thanks to you, young, brilliant minds. Kudos to you. If you're going out there this morning, please regroup, stay in a group, do not say anything. Our national anthem is Ruto must go. Until he goes, then we retreat back to our normal national anthem. Stay in groups, be vigilant, really have somebody to be looking out for you guys, somebody to keep a watch, and the rest of you are walking forward. If a cop stops you, all of you stay in a group, make a chain, and all that should come out of your mouth is Ruto must go. Do not provoke them. They ask you something, do not answer them. Your only answer and the only words that are coming out of your mouth is Ruto must go. If you have to sit down, sit. If you have to kneel, kneel. But just stay in groups, be vigilant. And may God bless you. May God bless Africa. May God bless Kenya. But do not go out there on your own, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Very powerful explanation of how issues and the problems are systemic. And we are going to tear down those systems that are being erected to keep Africans, keep Kenyans perpetually in poverty from generations to generations. Our eyes are open, we are educated, and the time is now. The time is now. Ruto must go. The puppet of the West, IMF and World Bank must go. Drop that hashtag on the comment section, guys. Check it. The microphone is yours. How you doing?
Asante, Afro. Asante, I'm good. Very nice to be here. Thank you so much for keeping the fire burning, Afro. Every day you are here. And thank you to all the 2,517 people who are listening right now. This is not for nothing. Ninachekelea sana wale watu jana walikuwa wanasema ati moto imeisha. Did you guys have an opportunity to listen to the senators? Guys, the government is hearing. We know they are here. We know they are what are they called? Agents wako hapa, sellouts. And then muwaambie lazima waende. Ruto is the head of the snake. We are going for the head of the snake because we are liberating this country. Our Gen Zs, we are so proud of you guys. You have been killed, but you keep soldiering on. For me, I say keep pushing the hashtag. Afrocentric amesema, like each other, guys, follow each other, follow Afrocentric, follow Hannah, follow any of the speakers that are speaking. I'm doing my best to follow anybody who's given an opportunity to speak. Follow me back. Let us keep the fire burning. There was a quote that I retweeted. Kibaki aliuliza, you cannot get clever overnight. All of a sudden mumejua ya kwamba nyinyi ni wafisadi. Bure sana. Okay, our politicians, we have seen you for how long? Ruto made promises. They thought that we were stupid. We were not stupid. We knew what we were doing. You've gone around, you've cheated, alafu you tried to force down a finance bill. Nilisikia senators apparently were chanting at let them come wakiwa nje. Why did they not come to the streets? Now the Senate has been barricaded, Parliament has been barricaded, but by the way, guys, we've been invited to Senate. The Senate is free. Situende, tunaweza enda tuone. Keep chanting, we are peaceful. Like Hannah said, stay in groups, make sure you're connected, have friends around you. We love you guys, we don't want you to die. But we cannot cow down, we cannot step down. You heard the woman who explained yesterday that there were goons stealing for 2 hours. Bungei, IG police, Koome, you must go home. You cannot continue kukanyagia wananchi, kukosa kufanya kazi zenu, and you think that you're going to be safe. Shame on you. We will call you out, all of you. Guys, for those who are talking about, let us go to the Supreme Court, let us go. Yes, we know about this, but right now we have to remain focused. We have to stay on the path. Guys, the international press are watching. All those we've said occupy everywhere. We will occupy even the embassies. Embassies, don't think you're safe. Don't think that your darling Ruto is going to help you. We will come for you all. Africa is listening, guys. Africa, rise up. Cameroon, we've had you. We know mumeuziwa uoga. They've sold fear to you. They used to do the same for us. Keep fighting. Nigeria. I laughed, Hannah. Thank you for reminding us about the Ghanaian guy who said, Mutasalimiwa, you will be greeted. We are greeting our MPs. Walikuwa wanabeba millions na bags. They carry millions of shillings in bags for fundraisers. You will all go home, guys, because the uprising cannot be stopped. This is how we keep it going, guys. Retweet. Let us make Ruto must go the top trending hashtag on Twitter. Viva. Let's keep the fight going. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for keeping the fire. Request the mic. Allow us to follow you. Don't be cowed, guys. Wakianza kutushika wale ambao wako Kenya, Diaspora take over the spaces. Okay, there is no cowing down. Thank you so much, Afro. I yield the mic.
Thank you so much, Chege. I'll pass the microphone to NKT. NKT, karibu kwenye mic.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. Sijui kama mnanisikia?
Vizuri sana.
Nice. So, what I would like to say, guys, mi nimekuwa kwa barabara. Tumekuwa frontline huko, tumekuwa huko watu wakikufa and all that. The spirit is still on. The spirit is still there. I won't lie to you. Some of us might lose our lives. Some of us might never go back home or go see our parents again. But ile honors wanapeanga military, sijui president, state honors, we do it to you on the ground. Tunakufunika na flags, tunakuimbia national anthem, even if they tear gas us. Guys, you have to remember what you are fighting here against. This is not just Ruto in your system. Napenda vile babu wame come up na a strategy. I think that's what we should look up to next. We should come up with strategies. Also, Hannah amesema it's not just Ruto, it's a whole system. So remember, we can't stop. Hata wakirecord hizi mabill gani. Remember, hizo ni strategies of stopping us. It's a whole system we are fighting against. Tumesema tunataka a constitution, tunataka a government where CSs ni watu professional. Hatutaki watu wa barabara, sijui ya kina Murkomen au ni kina nani. Murkomen engineer. Has he studied anything about engineering? We want engineers to do these things. We want doctors to be CSs wa uko whatever health. We want teachers, we want scholars as CSs in education. See ujinga yenye wanatuletea watu corrupt to come and change systems and eat people's money. That's some bullshit, maze. Hiyo we cannot stand for that. Now we have to remember this movement haikuanziwa only for maandamano. Tulikuwa pia tunasema tuna follow the constitution. So we always have to remember that we have to take our votes. Lazima wenye hawana kura, go take your votes. We have to change this country. We have to fight this system. And hiyo vote inaweza kuwa haitumiki saa hii because saa hii tunatumia a different front in handling the system, but hiyo vote lazima itashughulika mahali. So if we want to change this na isiwaji repeat tena, please let us all go collect our voting cards. Let us all collect our votes. We have to do this, guys. Also, it appears ni kama nimejaribu ku go through the constitution. It appears ni kama hatuna a solution right now because we need IEBC and Ruto ndo anafaa suggest names for the very parliament capture to vote and all that hulabaloo. So we know it won't work. For now we have to press and press and press and don't stop. Trust me guys, we are halfway there. We are halfway there. Babu amesema pia those embassy guys, sijui IMF nini, we go demonstrate there pia, because our watu ndio wanatuchezea. Those are the puppeteers. Ruto is just a puppet. This hashtag is just about a puppet. We need to also fight the puppeteers. Otherwise, viva the revolution. Let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going mazee. Kenya ni yetu, Kenya ni yetu. Hata hao MPs wenye tunaenda wanasema ati let them come. Sijui lini walikuwa the opposition, sijui lini waliacha kukua Kenya. Hiyo ni ujinga wanafanya huko ndani. But remember, this is greater than us. This is greater than any individual. This is greater than any movement, because this is God mazee. Hii haijatoka anywhere. Hakuna mtu alituma watu waende kasalimia watu weekends. Tulisema Tuesday na Thursday watu wanaenda kwa watu kwa manyumba za watu weekends. Did anyone call spaces for that? This is God mazee. So don't stop. We don't stop. We don't relent. We keep going. Viva the revolution. I yield the mic.
Thank you so much,
Hapo
NKT, yeah?
hapo, unajua leo njaa inaniuma. Mimi hata nimeamka na njaa, so hata sitaki kuongea sana, but nimeamka na njaa. Anyway, kama mnajisikia,
Six ufanyiwe delivery, tukutumie delivery.
hebu nitumie delivery. Mie KFC sahii nataka kwenda tao, nitakuwa hapo Java Clyde. Mnitumie ile Java Espresso. Sijui na hiyo ilikuwa
Good morning,
inaitwa gani?
everyone.
I'm speaking man, Kasim. So guys, I'll say this. I think we've been saying this issue as streets, and it's no longer working. I said it yesterday somewhere. Why? It's because government imetupigana strategy, and they are using a very, very weird strategy. A strategy that some of us even can't cope up with. Just imagine somebody tells the president, go to the press. He goes to the press. He divides Kenyans into two who are demonstrating. They remain, we want dialogue. Others, we want to go to streets. It means the ones who will turn up the streets will be less. Another one advises him, now, drop the finance bill, because that was the main slogan. They'll lose their focus, their train of thought. They'll remain divided again into two. Others will be, we already won with the finance bill. Now the last one tells him, tell the SRC to print notice saying that they are going to increase the salary so that our MPs can go out there and reject, so that we can now start gaining ground. Then another one tells him, Mister, go to Kericho, pay goons, let them re-erect the wheelbarrows that were put down in Eldoret and Kericho. They do that. People, the whole country is saying, after the drop finance bill, people are now coming back to say we want to have a conversation with the president. All that is strategy and PR. Now they came to X and paralyzed the whole of X. Why? People are here to gain followers. People are here for their stomachs. People are here for money. I know ex-influencers who, if I just call them right now na niwaambie, master, niko na 5,000 sahi kwa hii mfuko, I want you to do for me something, they'll do. I've been in this digital industry for quite some time right now, and I understand how these people reason. So that is what the president beat us with, strategy. Right now, why are we going to streets without strategy? Why are we going without, where we operating without a strategy? Sometimes you need that strategy for you to go out there. You don't have to do whatever everybody is doing. You have to do what is right during that time. Right now, going on the streets, honestly, that is killing innocent souls. That will be killing. If we've seen a policeman, I was in town, even on Tuesday. Nilikuwa maandamano. Somebody was shot right in front of me. And these are some of the things that we should be looking at. A policeman is willing to beat. Walipiga mumama mwenye ako na mimba hapo Koja. And I was so mad at that policeman because ameachana na wale goons wanafunga barabara, wanarusha mawe kwa barabara chanting, and those were not Gen Zs who were chanting. You can differentiate between somebody who went out there on a peaceful protest and on a mission, and somebody who went on those streets to cause havoc. Why? When Manambas and these street kids got into this Maandamano thing, it now became something that cannot be controlled. Why? Are you going to trust somebody who doesn't have a home? Somebody who has nothing to lose? Somebody who doesn't know what we are fighting for? They were there, walikuwa wanafunga hizo barabara. They were the ones who were throwing stones in the middle of CBD. You can close Waiyaki Way, you can close Mombasa Road, you can close Thika Road. That one is to make sure that people don't go to town to get hurt. But huwezi funga katikati ya CBD. That one is now disrupting peace within the capital. So this Maandamano was infiltrated by things, but we should agree all. We won, whereby we got the finance bill dropped. Now, what is the second strategy that we should be doing? Second strategy is paralyzing the government by its legs. Ruto is the head. He's just a shell on top. And that shell can get weakened if we just knock it by the legs. And how are we going to do that? That is now going for his cabinet, going for his MPs, going for the embassies. The moment you touch there, Ruto is paralyzed. Why? He has to get advice from this cabinet. Let us go and ask an audit from these cabinets. Let us go know what have they been doing. What work have they been doing? Duale is deploying army. What has he followed the right procedure to deploy army? Police have been taken to Haiti. Why? And yet our own we can't fight bandits in Kerio Valley. So that is what we should be going for right now. The moment we paralyze the MPs, the 204 MPs who voted yes are the ones we should be going for right now. You finish with those MPs, Ruto has no power. He will only remain a person. He will only remain somebody up there so that we can now get rid of him in 2027. The other thing, what is the second strategy? Civic education. Let us educate everyone. Yesterday, I had a long conversation with somebody. Who was telling me this. In 2017, they were educated in that the Kikuyu nation had only one slogan: Kamwana must be president. And that is what we need right now. They used to go for Mugithi, and jamaa wa Gita kwanza anasimamisha anawaambia mjue mission ni turaku. Lazima mtu wetu akwe hapo. And that is what we should be doing right now. Even hata ukienda wapi, hata watoto wa shule wanafaa kuwa najua saizi Ruto must go in 2027. That is the movement that we should be going right now. We should go on those streets and tell our parents they are the ones who will still vote. Right now, we can't remove a sitting president. That is a war. We will not. We are not going to win. Where's the IBC? Those are some of the things we should be asking ourselves right now. Even if we are going out there to chant Ruto must go, at what extent? Yes, we've gone for Maandamano. So the best thing is civic education. Go out there, educate our parents, and now tell them it's time. We are now tired with this. If you know what is good for this country, maybe we will be out there we will be here for the next 10 to 20 years. And what is good for this country is us having a leader who is going to listen to both sides, not tribal. Imagine a whole cabinet being with friends because he's rewarding loyalty. We don't want somebody who will reward loyalty. There's a point I wanted to disagree with the previous speaker. Sometimes, I think it is policy makers versus experts. Sometimes, yes, I understand some positions need experience and understanding of government and the ground, but some really need experts. We had experts like Magoha, but they didn't perform well according to me as how I expected them to perform. They were more of authoritative and arrogant. We need somebody now who understands both sides. What do citizens want? What will the government get? And what can we put on the table to make these two ends meet? And how are we going to develop this? So, guys, I just call for civic education. Strategy number 2, paralyze Ruto by his feet and let the head remain. Thank you. Anyways, mi niko na njaa Hana, niko na njaa Afro, Java Expresso ni tao.
Thank you 6000 for your submission. I'll give the microphone to Field Marshal. Field Marshal, karibu kwenye mic.
Okay, thank you very much, Afrocentric. I want to greet everybody. Spacing from Nigeria. I want to say a very big thank you and encourage all Ghanaians, all Kenyans, that you are doing a very wonderful thing. And I think the title given to Nigeria should be given to Kenya, the giant of Africa, if not for anything, but for this you have done. You need your name in the timelines of the world. And I want to encourage Africans in general. It is now time for all Africans to rise up. They are afraid. The system is afraid. You see, this neo-colonialism that is bringing Africa down, we need to fight it. So everybody, we need to join hands, borrow a leaf from Kenyans, and let us fight this neo-colonialism that is pulling Africa down. Kenyans, you have gotten your country back. Don't give up. Don't give up. Go there and rip all of them off. Rip all of them off. We are right behind you. We are supporting you. Like what our sister said, Hannah said about the Ghanaian MPs. They are hearing and they know. It's just so unfortunate that we have not taken this stand for a long time, but we all need to support ourselves. If you're not a Kenyan, you're outside, please add your voice, retweet the message. The system must change. End neo-colonialism in Africa. The problem we're having is the neo-colonialism. If it ends, you will see our leaders will sit up. Our leaders will sit up. You understand what I'm trying to say? So let us look at the root cause of our problem in Africa and then kick that root cause out. If not, we'll keep having recurring problems over and over. Once the foreign influence is out of Africa, you will see that development will begin to come, because the thing is, those foreign influences are taking our natural resources and leaving crumbs for us. So by the time we end that partnership, I think Africa will be great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Afrocentric. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, everybody. You're doing a great job, and we are all behind you. Together, we'll save Africa. Africa, we are brothers. There's no much difference from us. We are all one. Let us join hands and wash out the evil that is beseeching us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Field Marshal, brother, all the way from Nigeria, standing in solidarity. Guys, if we have Africans all the way in West Africa standing solidarity, please, if you're staying at home, if you're in Kenya, and if you're in the country and you're not supporting this cause, I'm telling you, you're betraying your brothers and sisters. Guys, we can have, you can already feel the difference in the political space. The senators, the way they're talking, even the way Cheriot was talking, he apologized to the nation. Guys, we have the government by its balls. They are going to give us good governance, and we are peaceful. They should stop killing us. Wale wanatuzia woga, wanatuambia tutapigwa. In fact, there are 2 spaces I hosted last Thursday and Tuesday, and we were infiltrated. They picked up the mic, wakaanza kutuambia, started saying, hey guys, people are being shot, trying to direct. That's a tactic they use. You get into town, hey, mtu ameuliwa huko, someone has been shot, because they know. I'm telling you, corruption fights back, power fights back. But we are beyond these PR games, this PR stunts, this psychology. We're in a psychological warfare too. They are trying to give us a lot of sideshows. For the police to go after a pregnant woman and leave goons to loot a store and pillage a store for 2 hours, it is to instill fear like, hey, we will deal with this if we come on the streets, but we have strength in our unity, strength in numbers, and viva to the revolution, viva to the movement. In fact, ndo wanatuwekea kuni. Ndo tumeanza. We are just getting started. So
Kabisa,
thank you very
Afro,
much.
wakumbushe walikataa pesa. Since when did MPs refuse money? Walikataa pesa jana.
Imagine. Javan, Mike is yours. Karibu.
Vipi Afrocentric na the host and everyone.
Salama
Tuko
salama.
fiti.
Tuko poa.
Yeah, thank guys manze, nyinyi mmefanya kazi poa sana under these spaces, and I want to tell kina CS Nduale who is saying that these spaces are not bearing fruits. It is through these spaces that we have created advocacy of good governance. It is through these spaces that we have been able to identify what is healing this nation. And it is through these spaces that we are coming up, trying to offer solutions that we take this country to the next level of political stability and economic prosperity. Therefore, anybody who feels that these spaces are not bearing fruits, then he is in for a rude shock, because what is coming in the coming days, it might be bigger than what we saw in the past. And if they are saying these spaces are not fruitful, then why did the government drop the finance bill? Why are members of parliament not coming to the ground, especially those who supported the finance bill? I saw one saying that she is afraid of going to Muranga because the ground is hostile. Therefore, these spaces have brought forth good fruits, and we should celebrate everybody who is coming up to fight for good leadership and holding the government to account and asking for development and everything that will bring a better country for all of us, not a country for a few greedy individuals, and we leave other Kenyans in their needy state with nobody to help them. That said and done, I think from where I sit, we need an overhaul, restructuring of our leadership, and we need to start with the political party space in this country, because for the longest time since the inception of the multi-party in 1992 to date, we have seen political party coercing around an individual. They are more of personality cults. They are more of profit-making organizations. We don't have political parties that champion for something progressive in terms of development, in terms of addressing the needs of its people. Therefore, as we move forward, we need to come up with political parties that are not individual owned, political parties that are mwananchi owned, like what we have in the United States. Today, the Democrats are thinking of replacing Joe Biden, but that cannot happen in Kenya. It will be so it will be shocking. It will be even awkward to hear ODM members saying that they want to replace Raila Odinga as their presidential candidate, or the UDA party saying that they are planning to replace William Ruto as their party leader. It will not happen, because these individuals who own this party and they have the final say. That is why today our parliament is full, is filled with sycophants, because these political party leaders ditch these party nominations to their sycophants, to people who hero worship them, to people who sing praise, to them. That is why we have a legislature that is not working. When you look at how the party nominations are given, you will see that the party leader has the final say. It's either you buy the party ticket, or they will give the party ticket to a person who they can manipulate, thus denying young people who have ideas, who have policies to take this country to the next level, a chance to be in the parliament, a chance to be in the county assembly. Therefore, if we must address the leadership of this country, we must address the role of political party in this country. We saw it in Nandi Hills, where Alfred Keter was denied the UDA party, parliamentary nomination certificate, despite the fact that he had won the primaries. Therefore, this kind of corruption in our political party is part of the problem that we need to address. And if we will be able to conclusively address the issue of political participation in this country, we will deal with the issue of political kingpinship. Because when you go to Mount Kenya, they are talking about a political kingpin. When you go to Rift Valley, they have a political kingpin. When you go to Nyanza, they have Raila Odinga as their political kingpin. When you go to other regions, they have these tribal kingpins. If we need also to address the issue of ethnic, balkanization in our politics, so that we start having leaders who are not elected based on their ethnic ground, who are not elected because of their tribe, who are not elected because of their region, but guys who are elected on what they offering in terms of their manifesto and the ideas that they have. Number two, we need to have a seamless process of recalling members of parliament and other elected leaders. The process of recalling or removing from office a member of parliament is so it's so stiff that it's rigorous. It takes a lot of time. It is tedious. We need a process where if a member of parliament has failed to perform as the constituents, we can come up with the process of recalling them and removing them from office seamlessly without so much struggle. And number three, we also need to address the issue of salaries of members of parliament. Today, the main reason why people are getting into politics is to enrich themselves, is to create wealth, is to get money. If we can detach the issue of money from our politics and make political or elective positions as any professional, career where you are paid, enough money to keep you going, not enough money to enrich yourselves and to do other stuffs, then we'll be able to have people who have genuine desires to lead coming up into this position of leadership. 90% of the guys who are in parliament today, they're not there because they have a calling to lead. They are there because the main reason that put them, motivated them is money. These guys are paid way much high compared to other developed countries. Therefore, it's high time we reduce the amount of money we give to our elective leaders so that we can have genuine people coming up into these spaces. And finally, young people of this country, it is high time we come out in large numbers. This issue of making noise, when we have elected leaders, it should be past us. We should be making noise before electing these leaders and making sure that when we come to the electioneering time, we come out in large numbers. It is in this country where young people don't come out to vote. It is in this country where young people, most of them who are on the streets, they don't have a voter's card, despite them having attained the legal age to vote. Therefore, going forward, we must mobilize young people to come out in their thousands, in their millions to register as voters, because it is only in the ballot where we will have a change. It is only in the ballot where we will elect the leaders that we want. It's only in the ballot where we can have a government that is working. You see, that is how we will keep this country moving. Therefore, it's high time as we move to 2027, let's all come in large numbers, register as voters, and when we are voting, let's vote for people. Let's look for their track record. Let's look what they have offered, and that is how we take this country to the next level. Thank you so much, Afrocentric and the speakers. Let's keep these conversations going.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Afro. Just 2 minutes. Guys, tuko hapa wengi. We are many of us. And that on the comment section, we still 748 hashtags trend that have been done. Please keep your fingers clicking while you're waiting, while you're listening. And one more quick thing. But let's not think about 2027. Let's think about how today you're going out there, how to look out for those goons, how to keep safe. Let's hear from people who are getting ready to go out there. Let's keep the conversation about today. Tomorrow, God is there. Today, what is going to happen? What's going on the ground? I can see in Kirote. all the way from Meru, I think. I'm not sure if I remember it correctly. She'll tell us what happened. Did they going out? And so on and so forth. Thank you, Java. But now saying that they're focusing on their salary and all that shenanigans, for me, it's rubbish. Some MPs, when they're asking to go to the office, they spend something that they would have earned in 5 years in one election. What does that mean now? It means it's not about their salary. It's about what they get, the deals they make, the money that they're extortioning from the public coffers. That is what it is. So what are our chances? Our chances is what? It's very simple. Make politics unattractive. Politics is very attractive to them now because atatumia pesa yenye angeearn 5 years in one election time just to make sure he gets to that seat. And guess what, guys? Ruto himself told you guys, if you were listening, it's out there. People are elected because they're resourceful. He said it himself. It's not because they're going there to work for you or deliver for you. No, they're elected because they're resourceful. And they pour those resources into the election. Once they get into the seat, then they have to get their money back, every penny of it. And guess what? That money belongs to you. That money should have gone to vaccinating the little kid. That money should have gone to the school, lunch, breakfast. That money should have gone to build the public hospitals. That money should have gone to building those roads, bringing electricity to your village, and so on and so forth. So the focus is what? Kill the snake from the head. Back to you, Afrocentric.
Afro, just a second to echo on what Anna said. Just a second. You see, I had a conversation with my boss last week, and there is one thing he told me that there is no rich man who thinks about his subjects. Why? If Ruto wakes up in the morning, what he thinks is, how am I going to make more money? Then he will take a trip to China, go sign a deal that will benefit his family, a deal that will protect his property. Are you people aware that Sudi has the deal of supplying timber in the whole country, which has been leading to deforestation? Go just do research. Yesterday I had a conversation also with someone who told me he has been with these people doing these deals, and this person, Sudi can go to Timboroa and give somebody a deal to go and cut timber. Huko ndo hiyo pesa inatoka, hiyo pesa chafu. Other people, we are also supporting a government whereby we are facing people wenye wameweka wash mbele. Do you think Karauri was voting yes because of his company SportPesa? No. Karauri is just a CEO. He doesn't own that company. Hana shares. Karauri yako tu pale kama nini, the face. He's being used by those investors wenye SportPesa to protect SportPesa. If the gaming industry tax inaenda kupandishwa, ilikuwa inapandishwa from 12% to 20%, why do you think a sane person would vote yes? That means kampuni za gaming industry ilikuwa inaenda kuumia sana. I've been working for the gaming industry now for a year now, and I'll tell you, walikuwa wanaenda kuumia sana. But that guy was voting yes to protect his property. And that is what we should know. There is no rich man out here who thinks about his subjects. That's why I've said, go work on the strategy, then come back stronger. That one will work. Thank you, Afro. Sorry for disrupting.
Thank you, 6,000. I'll give Tabi a chance to give an input. Tabi, karibu kwenye mic. Tabi, can you hear me? Maskai, go ahead. Tabi can't hear us. Go ahead, Maska, as you fix her mic. Maskai.
Hello guys, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Well, first of all, we condone with the families, the people that have lost their loved ones. We really take time to say pole sana, and may they rest in peace. Mine will be very brief because a lot has been said, and you can't really add anything on top of what has been said. I'll try to be more idealistic as I put my point across. But regardless of how idealistic I am, it's only action that can bring the change that we want. So number one, we should understand that the infiltration into the protests is a show of how most of the people are not yet enlightened, and enlightened in terms of understanding what is not working. Because why would somebody be paid 1,000 shillings to go and disrupt something that will bring benefit from a generational point of view, and you're just thinking about now? So we have few elements that really need to be educated, and a shift of mindset is going to be very, very important. We need also to understand that they can play the game year 92, and that's why they've been asking so much who are the leaders to the Gen Z movement, because they want to single out a few and empower them, give them money so that they become sellouts. And that's what politics in Kenya has become. You become a sellout, then you prosper at the expense of everybody else. So the fact that it has been retained, that it is leaderless, I think that is very, very important and should be maintained as such, because Ruto himself is a product of such opportunities. As somebody has said, walimuona tu akiwa uni, and they picked him up, and that's how he has ended up being a president. So they're trying to single out people who they confront, and then they get to high places at the expense of the people who are down here. And I think that one should be fought. Two things we have to choose: are we going to go the British way, or are we going to go the French way? The British way is reforms, where you're given bits of something, hoping that the whole thing will change. Or will we go the French way and say total change, overhaul of everything? Because that is going to be something that is going to be, it might be protracted, take quite some time, but we must sustain the momentum, because once the vision catches fire, nobody can stop. And they say you cannot fight an idea whose time has come. Nobody instigated it, it just came out. It means it's something that its time has come. So we have to be faithful to that moment, and take it up and make sure that it comes to pass. And we must avoid the Jacobins, because the Jacobins want to come in and cause chaos so that we lose focus of the greater mandate. So mine is just to encourage us that as we go out, let's put the vision ahead. We want a Kenya that works. We want a Kenya that delivers. As President Obama would say, we've inherited this land from our future generations. So what are we going to hand them? Not what we are going to get now. What are we going to hand them? So that should be our driving motto, that even as we fight, we're not fighting for bare minimum. We are fighting for an overhaul. And sometimes it's had to be painful for some time, but we have to endure the pain now so that we can reap the fruits later on. So mine is just to say, Viva, let's continue, and let's have a shift of mindset. We really have to have that shift of mindset to see that the new that is coming is in the dying old. So for the moment that the dying old is dying, the new might not be seen, but it is in there. We have just to search for it and bring it to light. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pascal. Tabby, can you now hear us? Tabby, I'm running out of time. I want to drop the space.
Yes, I can hear you
Go
now.
ahead.
I'm not. I think I had a problem with my speaker. I was not hearing anyone speak, but I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
You
Yes,
can
we
hear
can.
me? All right. Thank you very much. I have listened the number of you earlier before my speaker went off, and you could clearly see there is something that is going on even in this cycle. People are trying to kill the momentum. Yeah, people are trying to kill the momentum that we are defeated. We cannot defeat Ruto. We cannot do this. There is, in everything, there is always a negative side and a positive side. So if you're trying to look for a negative part of these demos, you will always get, if you try to look for reasons to quit, there's so many reasons to quit. All you need to do is find that one reason to keep you going. What will keep us going? The momentum we have right now is that we need to redeem our country. We need to redeem back our lives. Our future is at stake. The moment we let these people say we cannot hold, we have a constitution to follow, are they even following the constitution? The person who took an oath to protect, to follow the constitution, is he himself upholding the constitution that we are all here drumming, oh, we must follow the law? Is he first of all following the law? The fact that there is no IEBC in place, that is already breaking the law. And do you expect Ruto to put up a structure that we will use to remove him in power? Do you expect him to do so? No. An example is, let's look at Sri Lanka. Did they follow the constitution to remove their president? Is there any constitution in the world that allows the citizens to overthrow the president? I think we have to understand that the law is our servant. We are the master. It is the law that should serve the people, not the people to serve the law. Once we put ourselves under the law, it means that those who made the law, which are the political class, will always dominate over us. And that is why everything in Kenya is working against the citizens and the rich continue becoming rich. It is because the law has been designed for them. Yeah. A good example is a guy who was charged, I don't know, 10 million, just in the midst of this uproar, just to show us a middle finger that, you know what, impunity will always win. In the midst of this uproar, they come up with an increase of MPs. In the midst of this uproar, there was a computer error in NHIF. In the midst of this uproar, there was stealing of fertilizer in the mid-sea. What is that trying to, what kind of message are they trying to tell us? That impunity will win any day, anytime. So it is not about us to think about we are losing. We have 1,000 reasons to feel weak. We have 1,000 reasons to give up. We just need that one reason to keep us going. And the reason is our future. Are we tired? If we are tired, then this is the main reason that we must keep the movement going on. We cannot allow ourselves to cow back, because once we start buying the fear, once we start saying that the Ruto is, and we cannot throw Ruto right now, what are we saying? That we stay with him for another, because in 2027, who will tell you that he will not buy all of you, the whole movement? He has already divided us. So if we give him more time, we'll give him more time to buy more. We'll give him more time to kill those who are not votable. Like a majority of you cannot be compromised. What will happen to you? Your lives is at risk. It will come for you. Yeah. So we are not safe either way. Going back, so the only way we can forge forward is to make sure we shake him. We shake him, paint him as a bloodthirst person, paint him as the killer, the leader of the goons. Yeah, the police were there looking at the goons destroying properties. In the full glare of camera, the police were pulling back, not touching the real goons, but going for innocent, pregnant women. Who does that? So the moment we give this guy more time, we buy that narrative of we have to follow, we have no IEBC. IEBC is, Ruto has to appoint it. Do you think he will appoint a structure that will come after him? No, he won't. So we really need to find one reason to keep the movement going forward. We have to learn how to prevent the intruders from taking away the good things that we have already started. The intruders are the people that are being infiltrated into the movement. How do we get away from them? How do we bar them from getting into our movement? I like the way there was a guy called Babu who talked earlier on, trying to befriend, because Ruto has already infiltrated into us. We also need to find ways to filtrate into his army. How do we befriend? The soldiers are our relatives. These are our brothers and sisters in the army. Police are not foreigners. These are Kenyans who are also going the same hardships that we are going through. How can we make them come on our side? And now paint the picture that this is the guy that is eating, that is drinking the bloods of our young men and women. That is the main thing that we should focus, because if we say we need dialogue, to dialogue with who? Does he even understand your language? Does he? Because our language is, we need systems to work. Does Ruto understand how systems work? Look at his cabinet. Look at the things that are facing our country, even to an extent of packing sand to sell to a farmer. What language? How can you even sit on the same table? What are you going to discuss with that person? It has the audacity to pack sand to sell to a farmer. What are you going to tell him? That we don't want this? Because in him, he's already rotten. There is no soul in that person. So there is no way you're going to talk to any sense to him. So in terms of communication, first of all, we are talking a totally different language. For them, they know the language of dealership. How do we get more money? That is their language. And we don't understand that language. Our language is, how do we make our systems work? How do we make education system work? For them, they don't know that. They know if there is a school to be constructed, who is given that contract? That is their language, And how much is it? They'll even allocate you 10 million to construct one class, and one class will cost maybe 900,000. So that is their language, and that is not ours. So there is no day that we'll ever communicate, because we have no common ground. We have no common ideals with them. So there is no day that we'll ever sit with them and say, we have understood what you need, and if no. We are talking in totally different frequencies. Yeah. So let us keep the momentum going. I like the hashtag that Ruto must go. We need just to add more hashtag that this is a bloodthirsty leader. He is drinking our blood. He's the leader of the goods. Paint that to all the media houses, to everywhere. Go to the World Bank and IMF. They are the one funding him. They're the one making him take the glory. Like, leader is this guy is a hero. A hero of doing what? Of killing innocent people? No, we cannot stay in this mode. We must find a way to get him out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your submission, guys. I want to drop the space. We want to go on the streets and occupy everywhere. So if I'm giving you the mic, I'm not adding any new speakers, guys. No new speakers. I'm just clearing the speaker rack right now, and then we hit the streets, guys. Please bear with me. Please bear with me. We have a mission today. Today is D-Day. So, Kirote, mic is yours. Kirote.
Good morning. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm clear. First of all, I want to pass my appreciation to everyone who has put their efforts to make sure we've achieved something. It's really something. Apart from the finance bill being dropped, we've also seen a progressive effects of our demos and our voices. Tumeziona pia kwa Senate nini, so yeah, the pressure is working and we have something to be proud of. And secondly, I am in the village, and every day I'm coming across conversations, views, and let me tell you, hey, we have a long way to go. You see, there's this day I was coming from Mero Town. I was heading home, and there's this particular guy. He is in his 50s, well dressed. He looked decent, like alikuwa anakaa msee amesoma. You know what I mean? Only to hear his opinion kama tuko kwa gari. I actually decided to pass some information to the people who are in the matatu. I've never been that courageous before, so nikamua wacha niwaambie one or two yenye iko kwa finance bill and why we are against it. Hata kabla nimalize tu introduction, the man who's like the age of my dad, although my dad is older, akaanza and is like hawa watu naona wakienda huko kwa street Nairobi ni wanafunzi wa UON na KU, hata ziko karibu kufungwa, warudi nyumbani wawache kusumbuana na serikali. Wow. And he didn't stop at that. He was like, watoto wangu, they are very busy. They have work to do. They don't have time to waste in town, you know. I didn't know what to say. I was breathing fire. And I looked at him and told him, sisi wenye tuko kwa street tunapigana ni kwa sababu tumesoma na hatuna kazi. Na wengine pia tumesoma na tuko na kazi, but then we deal with taxes and others wana in like us. And he was like, maybe we are here in the village. I don't know what to say, but and I told him he has to stop dragging us from fighting for so that is it, guys. And one of the gentlemen hapo alikuwa anaongea, unajua watoto hawajui wanafanya nini, lakini kama tumewasaidia. So jana I heard someone saying he's 33 anasema maandamano ni ya
Krote, you don't have network. You are really going in and out of network. We are missing the whole.
we have a long way to go. That's my point for now.
Ngiroto ulikuwa na katika kweli, lakini good luck if you're going out there. I only remember her that she's from Meru because my classmate's name was Ngirote. So, aya. Afro, back
Thank
to
you, guys. I'm trying to close this space. Lively Pandit, Livy Pandit. Are you there?
Na wafikishe hiyo hashtag kwenye comment section. Fikisheni 1000 jameni.
Ruto must
The next
go.
few
Ruto
minutes.
must go, guys. Push.
Please, Ruto must go on that hash and the comment section.
Lively, can you hear me? No. Ebu, I'm asking him if he can hear you.
Who is it? Leslie?
Livy Pandit.
I can hear you.
Pundit.
Yeah. Go
It's
ahead.
Levi Pandit.
Go ahead. 2 minutes, guys. I'm
Hello,
closing
guys.
this. Go ahead.
Hello, guys. I hope you can
Hello.
hear me well.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Go on.
So this is what I have to say.
Nimecamp kwa hii conversation since ianze. I've heard what people have had to say since your time ilianza, na like kuna mtu ameongea, I think alikuwa Tabi or someone alisema like people are asking the reasons why tunafaa kwenda kwa streets, the reasons why tunafaa kuendelea kufanya whatever we are doing, to push whatever we are pushing every day. Like ukiamka hii country, like kama youth, kama Kenyan mwenye ako aware of what your rights are or what you deserve, unapata more reasons why unafaa kudemonstrate, why unafaa protest against this regime, this government. Like jana I didn't know, nilikuwa naishi around Rex, jana ilikuwa memorial yake. Nilipita around social hall, Kayole social hall, walikuwa wanafanya memorial yake. Like so nikaanza kujiuliza, did this guy have to die? Why did he have to die? And many other Kenyans that have lost their lives, did they have to die? And if now the conversation ni wamekufa, and this person mwenye alikuwa at the center of these murders anatuambia he wants a conversation with us. He keeps buying bloggers to push his agenda, buying some young people to push his agenda of wanting to kill this movement, wanting to silence us. The real topic is this guy is not interested in a conversation. He's interested in just silencing us. He's interested in making sure that we achieve nothing and that he gets to have his way. That's something we must never accept. Another reason mbona unafaa kuendelea, why this thing should not die. Kwenye tumebahatika tuko na kajob hivi, hii imekuwa end month. Like ukiangalia pay slip yako, like you are sharing almost a half of your salary na government, and there's nothing to show for it. Hakuna barabara, like unaishi kwa nini, kuna potholes, there's nothing. There's social services poorest, there's nothing to show for you being deducted half of your salary to go to the government in the name of taxes. Like that's a reason enough to want to change things. Like tunafaa vitu zibadilike man, hatuwezi endelea hivi. And then nimesikia earlier on, nilisikia watu wakisema ati to strategize, we draw back to strategize on what? Like kama I think the only way we are tunaweza endelea like make government feel like your pressure need the more every day, like tumeplan tutoke out on the streets, twende like tunafaa kutana up in numbers. Kila siku yenye tunafaa kutana up. Hakuna siku yenye tunafaa tuanza kusema ati like, let's draw back, let's rethink. Hatufai kumpea time, hatufai kupea Ruto time. He must feel us. Hata kama like kuna wengine wetu tusienda job, like but for the past 3 weeks nimekuwa nikichukua offs, strategic offs, siku yenye kuna maandamano, to make sure that pia mimi na add my voice to the conversation, na my strength to the push for a better country. So I've been preparing, niko karibu kwenda kwa street. I hope all mko hapa pia nyinyi mna prepare kwenda kwa street, like voice yetu isikike. Hii historia ati kuogopa, like na hii kitu si watu waoga by the if you fear like you lose your life, I mean that's the price to pay. Hata mimi siogopi. If unfortunately my life ends kwa street, I know very well that kwenda kwa street to push for what we are pushing for, kuna a price to pay, and it can be your life, it can be maybe you getting maimed, but there is a price to pay. So everyone, I hope when you're involved kwa hii kitu, kwa hii conversation, you know there is a price to pay, and fear should not exist in our vocabulary. So to prepare to take our street, let's continue doing what we're thinking. namalizia tuendelee kufanya kitu tumekuwa tukifanya, na hiyo Sunday to make it even bigger. Sunday inafaa kuwa even special because for those of us ama wenye wanajua kidogo, like Sunday na kwa Sabasaba, and we know what Sabasaba stands for. Let's make it bigger, that generations to come itakumbukwa like in the year 2024 Sabasaba ili bring something better, hata kushinda ile yenye ililetwa na the past generation. So that's my that's all.
Thank you, Levi. I'm trying to drop. I told you I told the space I'm going to drop at 10 a.m. But I'm going through my last crop of speakers. I cannot host a space while people are on the streets. But be careful. Pandi tumemaliza.
Ni kitu nimeona nani hapa Jiro say. I would like to hear what she has to say.
No, not this space. We have time to host other spaces. They can come and bring their opinion. Umeona nani tena?
I'm particularly interested in this madam Jiro say.
Jiro Tichi.
She's a very eloquent on matters issues governance.
We MDM watu wanaenda ground. MDM kama unataka kumsikia.
Unajua alikuwa
Mkale.
alisupport nini? Alisupport gava.
Yes.
Then I want to hear.
No, I know. She's very nice lady, I know. But sasa, you know, people have to go on the ground.
Mnanisikia?
Mkale.
Mnanisikia?
Mike ni yako.
So mnanisikia?
Sawa kabisa.
So my main issue because of the leadership positions. You know what is killing Kenya is the leadership position. Huwezi pata CS wa youth and gender ako na 60 years. Ndio maana ajui bei ya vitu basic kama sanitary pads, ajui shit. So tuna elect the wrong leaders. Unapata mtu kama peaceful anaitwa Jackson Mandago, amia P1 teacher anasimamia health committee, ndio maana ajui basic things. Unapata mtu kama Linturi anakuja kufanya biashara na docketry ya agriculture kwa sababu hana knowledge. Unapata full like Kipchumba Murkomen who is a lawyer, anafaa kuwe anasimamia law firm yake huko. Unapata ako kwa very important docket yenye inasimamia maneno ya lami. So hii cabinet yetu ni clueless, hakuna youth ako hapo. So these people never know the main issues that face the youth, kwa sababu unapata CS ni 60 years, 70, 65, 45, so our 55, so they don't know what the youth are going through. Bad management. Ruto sijui ako held captive on his own government na watu wanao madeni. Fuck the government. Lakini tutokeze kwa barabara. Nimeshukuru.
Hey, can you 1 minute talk about the friend that you lost? I've been on your profile. I see you lost your friend. You lost Maandamano.
I lost yesterday was the burial in Narok. Anaitwa Shieni Eric, tulisoma na yeye Sacho High School. Alipigwa headshot na ofisa mwenye anashika 20,000, na if this boy could have graduated ange earn more than 100 na andikie jamaa an extra 20,000 juu, wangekubaliana asimue. I feel pain. Ndio nimetoka huko Narok, ndio naishia LD. Nimeshukuru. Rest in peace.
Pole Mkale, pole sana, and our condolences, sincere condolences to you. I just wanted to check because the money that was collected was also going to help with the burial expenses. Do you know kama kuna kitu imewafikia nyinyi ya familia yenye kijana amekufa?
Tulikuwa morning, atungeuliza lakini I think ilimfikia because na able people pia, lakini I think ilimfikia. Sidhani kuna foul play ilichezwa hapo.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Kenyans mumesikia. So that collections that was done, it's helping the people in the hospital. It's helping as well to the families who have lost loved ones. They're all our families. We have lost loved ones as well. So let's make today worth it for them. Remember them when you're hitting the street. Be vigilant. Stay in groups. Beba maji. Watch out for the goons, and make sure you have somebody who can reach out to you. Tell each other point mtekutania, na mukipoteana mahali mnaweza enda mkutane. Just be vigilant and just please take care and keep your eyes open. The only thing that should come out of your mouth, do not agitate the police. Keep saying Ruto must go. Guys, it's 9:53. We have one last person on the speaker, but 9:57 comments on hashtag Ruto must go. Before you, I space ifungwe, please, let's make it to 1,000. It's 9:59. Make it to 1,000, please. Ni nani huyu mwenye next? Mi hata sioni hiyo jina. Afro to you.
Eunice.
Anaongea Central, mi simsikii. Afrocentric. Eunice anaongea.
Hannah, can you hear Eunice?
That is what I was asking you. I couldn't hear Eunice talking.
Hey, Eunice, we can't fix your microphone.
Alafu tufungie space na the anthem.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Eunice, we can't hear Eunice. What was the name of that lady? Girotich. Can't be the last closing speaker because Eunice has dropped the ball. Girotich, where are you? Let me see who the speakers are requesting. Last speaker, guys, we're going on the road. I can't be up on the mic. We can't be on a space. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, greetings, everyone.
You're here by special request.
Thank you so much. I just want to echo what everybody is saying. As somebody had said, Livy Pundit, that I did vote for this particular regime, but I can tell you without fear or favor that everything that they have done is wrong and Ruto must go. You know, I have been in awe of the Gen Z movement. You are a brave, courageous, principled and focused group. I was, I suppose, what you'd call Gen Z in the 90s, and we also stood up and fought. But I tell you, in all my years, I haven't seen and experienced what I have seen these past 2.5 weeks. And I've been on the streets. It's only on Tuesday that I did not make it to the streets. And I just want to, first of all, offer my condolences to all those who have lost loved ones. It was a horrific sight starting last Tuesday, and this is unconscionable. And the usual tactics used by this regime to send goons to disrupt, to infiltrate, people who have been sent with money to compromise others and to get them to back down. This usually happens in such struggles and people fall along the way. And for me, what is encouraging is that there is a committed and consistent group of patriots who have refused to back down. And you know, when I think about my reasons for having voted for this particular regime, there was a very excellent plan. But one of the things we have to remember going forward, I have to remember going forward, is a plan has to be implemented by people. And those people have to be people of integrity and people who are committed to seeing Kenya advance to the next level. And this is exactly what hasn't happened. And you know, the idea of holding our leaders, our elected leaders, accountable is something that I'm 100% behind. And if you go to my timeline, you go to my active citizenship, no matter who I support or I don't support, I always call out people who are not doing the right thing. And for me, this Ruto Must Go movement, which started with Reject Finance Bill 2024, is something that we should not let go of. I see and I feel that the Ruto Must Go hashtag is one saying that since you have been defeated to lead this country in a manner that is accountable, you have no alternative but to go home, along with your National Assembly, your cabinet, everybody, all of you go home. However, I must reiterate and just really underscore what other comrades have said earlier on, that there has to be a singularity of focus, and we must be like horses with the blinkers on, where we don't blink and we do not lose our focus. Because as we are saying this, somebody will say, don't go to the streets, they're goons. Let's stay home. Let us look for a leader. Let us try. This leaderless revolution is a sight to behold, and it's a beautiful thing. And I would say, do not let anybody box you into a corner, because they're looking for that snake's head to cut it off. And when you're amorphous, when you're like a shoal of fish moving in and out, you disperse, you come back together, we move, we go, but we have a particular objective. It'll be very, very difficult to destroy this movement. So for me, it is singularity of focus. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a mother to Gen Zers. And I am, as a mother and as a revolutionary, as an active citizen, as somebody who has always stood for what is right, trust me, I am with you. And I will be with you to the very end, because even as Miguna says on other spaces, this is a revolution for all of us. The trigger and the push, the impetus, the dynamism has been brought by Gen Z, but it behooves the rest of all of us who have been on the sidelines, on the front lines, in the midlines, wherever, to come and join. The more we are, the more unstoppable we'll be. So that's what I wanted to say. It's a message of solidarity. I find myself in these spaces, but I do a lot of listening, because it is important to learn. People who just talk, but don't take the time to listen, never really expand their views, expand their analysis, expand their ability to even more deeply reason around things. So that is why you'll find me quietly in these spaces, because yes, you'll see me speaking on TV or Spice or on Twitter, etc., but sometimes it is also important to listen. And I have been listening and I am hearing, and I also just say that at the end of the day, if this is tribeless, if this is partyless, if this is leaderless, it is about Kenya. And it doesn't matter where you sit, where you live, what you do, who you voted for, if you have a singularity of focus. Because many of us voted for these MPs who voted yes, Sindio, and we're still here trying to go and greet them and salimia them. So this is not so much the time for castigation and regret, but the time for proactive focus into the future, and know what we as Kenyans will never ever accept again. So that's what I have to share. I'll be with you. I'm going to the streets. I'm hearing Afrocentric is about to log off because he has to go. I'm also getting ready, and I'll be somewhere down there during the course of today. And if you see me, say hi. If I see you, I'll say hi. Let's be in solidarity. You can always tell the difference between peaceful demonstrators and protesters, and the goons who have been deployed by various political forces to try and disrupt and discourage us. So thank you very much. Aluta continua.
Thank you very much.